as you can see, Joyce is moving around. He's so robotic. He's so straightforward. There's no move in his head. He's not. Like, look at the punch and the swing is coming around. I mean, watch it. Look, no direct straight punch. Look, round. Hooks. Joe Joyce is in real danger here of suffering a major eye injury. Hi guys, what's going on? It's Tubbs here from Fighters Talk TV. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. But what we're going to do now is we're going to try something brand new that I've not actually done before, so I hope it doesn't get me any strikes and things. But what we're going to do is we're going to do the Joyce Zhang fight. I'm going to do the highlights and I'm going to stop it in between to point out exactly where things are going wrong. Okay, so this should be okay, but just bear with me. Let's take a look. Okay, so the first thing to talk about is that Joe Joyce is coming into this fight literally a stone lighter than normally is. Now, Joe Joyce is what I like to call a robotic fighter. Okay, this guy has a granite chin, he walks through punches, and, you know, he's kind of figured, in my opinion, that he's going to sort of go down the more athletic route. He's going to try the more boxing rather than sort of steamrollering as he did with Daniel Dubois and a couple of other fights. Now, the problem is, in my opinion in this, obviously we've known what the outcome is, but the problem is, in my opinion in this, is he's too square on all the time. So when you come with a heavyweight where you've got no natural defense, and Zhang is a left-handed fighter, he's a southpaw, it's going to open Joe Joyce up because he doesn't move his head. His head movement, it just isn't there. So let's have a quick look at what's going on.
Favorite plus 600 for Zhilei Zhang, the over-under 8.5 and a minus 450 bet that the fight won't go the distance according to Joe Fortbach. We're inside the Deadly Wager Studios right here across from the Caesars Palace in Las Vegas.
So we can already see that Joe Joyce is looking a heck of a lot leaner from the fight. He's moving, but he doesn't move his head. Look at the lack of head movement that goes on. Or that doesn't in this particular case.
258 pounds. Pretty
svelte 258.
Lower than he usually come in. Normally he's around the 275, 271, around that weight. I think he came in at a lower weight. Yes.
So there you go. So he's at the first left hand.
The thing is, he wants to box a little bit more. He's in there with a tremendous boxer in Zhang, excuse me. So he wants to be able to compete with him on a speed level.
Okay, so as you can see, Joyce is moving around. He's so robotic. He's so straightforward. There's no move in his head. He's not like Tyson Fury. Backwards, forwards, in, out. He's not throwing that jab often enough in the first round.
Dual Olympic silver medalist, 2008 Olympic silver medalist Zhang, and 2016 Olympic silver medalist Joe Joyce.
To me, svelte is a fancy way of saying it's skinny. And, you know, Zhang is still the more fluid fighter here.
Yes.
He's
oh, so he took it there. See that?
What he said.
Ooh, look at that shot.
1-2.
See that left hand right there. Ooh,
density or not, Joe Joyce.
So Joe Joyce's defense is abysmal here. He must have been hit by 5 or 6 clear shots there. He's going to be rattled from that.
Big shots.
But look how big his chin is. Look at that, incredible.
But my shots are armor piercing.
One of the things Zhang told us is, listen, I'm almost 280 pounds. I'm a lefty. Where do you find a guy like me to spar? It's not something.
And he's absolutely right. You know, it's bad enough trying to find a heavyweight at his weight, let alone
around the waist area. But he looks good.
Southpaw.
It's a solid 280.
Wake-up call from Joe Joyce, who lands a nice overhand right, but so far, Zhilei Zhang laying the leather on the face of Joe Joyce.
Exactly what he told us to look for, the straight left hand and the right hook.
I mean, Joyce doesn't move his head. He boxes straight up and down.
I mean, it's so terrible to see in a way when you look at it. Joyce is a great fighter. There's nothing I'm not pulling anything away from Joe here. Really not. But you have got to learn to move your head, okay? You know, when we was training, you obviously you've got floor to ceiling ball, you got the waivers, you can move your head backwards and forwards. You just got to get used to that. It's great that he's gone for athleticism, and he's got one of the best chins in the business.
Stiff.
Granite.
Pretty much granite. Yeah.
Zhang will have to do his best work early in this fight. His latest knockout as a pro is in the 5th round, and we saw him have conditioning issues against Jerry Flores, where he dropped him in each of the first 3 rounds and then suffered kidney damage and dehydration down the line and settled for a draw. So he knows what he's up against.
Look at Joyce trying to box a little bit. You see
Oh,
Joyce
that
ain't
was
coming
nasty.
forward like he usually does.
Absolute
He's not
nastiness
falling.
there.
He's trying to box. He's trying to take his time. He feels that punching power of Zhang.
And it's also rare for Joyce to be facing a guy with the same dimensions as his, 80-inch reach and 6'6" in height.
Okay, so the end of the first round, I think it's safe to say that he lost that fight, lost that round, sorry. You know, let's start looking at round 2. I definitely think Zhang won the first round. What do you guys think? Definitely first round for Zhang.
Joyce paid
Zhang,
for that shot. Anytime he keeps those hands high.
Again, the 2 punches he told us to look out for yesterday. Straight, left, right hook.
Zhang coming off of a failed attempt at the IBF mandatory against none other than Filip Hrgović in a fight where he dropped Hrgović in the first round, and then it was a very close fight that could have gone his way but didn't. He said the lesson learned is don't leave it in the judge's hands and don't leave any doubt.
You see, I'm going to stop there. Look at that last punch that was coming in. Joyce has got his eyes closed. He's sort of down there and throwing wildly. There's no, 1-2, 1-2, rapid in, out. There's nothing like that. It's just a robotic stance, and you're coming up against a guy who's heavier, a lot heavier, and it just didn't work.
And Joyce opens up this second round with a long overhand right.
You got to figure it at some point, despite his great chin and his power, being so square will eventually catch up to Joyce.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
And I totally agree.
doubt
That's
about
exactly what happened.
But right now, what you're seeing is Joyce now starting to get into rhythm. Once he gets his jab going, then everything.
Oh, vicious.
His offense works. Ooh, that shot right there buckled Joyce.
That's a big 1-2.
Seeing he caught him with a left hand, Joyce, as well there.
Silver medalist Zhilei Zhang.
China by way of Jersey. You don't hear that.
Oh, there. So he's buzzed him there.
And let's see how he weathers this storm from Zhilei Zhang. A referee, Howard Foster, always has a quick trigger in stopping fights and stepping in between opponents.
Zhang can't miss with the straight left hand. All night long. I mean, it's easy work. This is easy picking. When I saw the odds, Bernardo, I said, oh my goodness, they tripping on the odds.
You bet?
No, I didn't
Right
bet.
there.
I didn't bet. No, but when I saw the odds.
Nice body work from Zhang as well. Now here comes the return fire from Joyce.
There's the heart.
And a back up Zhang.
You see what he's doing right now? He's just peppering him, There's no real power in any of these shots. It's not bothering Zhang. There's just no power there. It makes me wonder, when I was a fighter, I always believed the power comes from the size, right? Your punch comes from your feet. It's where it stands and where it starts. If you can learn to punch in angles, and as you can get in close, I was a small heavyweight, so I had to get in close to dig. But when you're looking at guys this sort of size, I don't know who prepared Joyce. I really don't, because it was clear that this was not going to work. For the first round, I would have been panicking. They would have, okay, change everything out. You move in, move out, slip the jab, and fight this guy. The other thing I was always told as well is that this is a smaller target than this, right? So if you look and you aim for the body and you break the body down, his hands are going to naturally drop, and then you can take the chin.
Emanating from the nose of Joyce, blood out of the mouth in the first round, leading from the nose.
See, it doesn't look like his shots have got an awful lot of deadly power in them.
No, he's buying his time right now. That's what he's doing. He's buying his time. He's letting Joyce get comfortable, and he wants to run him into another shot.
There it is.
This is big.
Straight left. Like a missile that cannot miss the juggernaut. Body work from Joyce. That's one way to slow down Zhang.
That's exactly what I would have been telling him to do. To the body all the time. Break those ribs up.
We anticipated this, and the work rate for Joe Joyce usually throws 80 punches around. He's thrown 84 total through these first 2 rounds with 15 seconds left.
What's impressive about Joyce is this is a round he was hurt.
Yeah, but I don't see the same power, the same authority coming for the punches of Joe Joyce. Seems still a little bit buzzed.
Okay, so, you know, clearly he was buzzed in that round. I think, once again, he's using his face as a break or a stop. I would be really concerned in the corner. My advice in the corner would be at this particular point, let's take the body shots. Let's take the sting out of him. Listen, you can't breathe, you can't fight, okay? I hate to take a thing from the Karate Kid, but, you know, that is absolutely true. You can't breathe, you can't fight. You break his rib, you break his heart. It's as simple as that. Joe Joyce has the power. And it's very disappointing to see that the guy is just, you know, being pulled all over the place. Really is. Because I actually really like Joe Joyce and always did. So let's take the 3rd round.
What the bone density,
if you see this, the eye is really bad.
Is gonna give Joe Joyce.
And I wonder if we're going to find out in the next few days that he's actually got a broken eye socket, because it certainly looked really bad.
The heart is not overrated. And here comes Joe Joyce coming out 1-2 quick here in round 3.
See, now what Joe Joyce is trying to do is he's just trying to touch and just stay consistent with his offense. So that way Zhang will have little room to be able to just throw one counter and land it.
Right eye is worrisome in terms of how inflamed it's gotten so fast.
So when you get hit in the face, I mean, those of us who've got before, and you actually break a bone in the face, the body's natural reaction is to swell. The idea of it swelling is it's actually to protect it from any more damage.
Right hook to the chin of Joe Joyce,
and you know, it's very difficult to see how it's going to last a lot longer.
Zhang's whole career can change right here if he wins this and becomes the mandatory.
Just better not run out of juice. No, I mean, he's won the first 2 rounds. If he runs out of juice, then it's a problem. Joe Joyce is going to come on towards the back end. We know his conditioning is elite.
Body work from Zhang.
Yeah, see, Joyce didn't like that either, the body shot. But that's how I would be telling him. You know, this guy, you can punch on his head all day, take him to the body, break a rib, duck it underneath, round the back, hook the ribs.
From Joe Joyce after taking a double left jab.
See, did you see that right hand then? It just doesn't look like he's got an awful lot of power. There he caught him in the chin.
They can't stand when you work the numbers on him. That's what Joyce is doing. He's working the numbers. He's touching them. He doesn't matter where he's hitting them. He just puts a lay a glove on him.
Right uppercut on the inside.
Keep him defensive.
I mean, to be fair, this is a much better round from Joe Joyce in the 3rd. He's not doing too bad. But once again, he's getting hit with some heavy shots.
Quick hands. And this is Joe Joyce waking up, as Ismael Salas was exhorting him to do after that.
But look, I mean...
Oh, nice straight left from Zhang.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there for 2 seconds. Right. Picture the scene here, guys. I want your opinion. If that's Tyson Fury in there, do you think Joe Joyce would be seeing the 3rd round? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, Tyson Fury would just pick him to pieces. He would rip him apart. There wouldn't be a Joe Joyce left. He would have knocked him out by now, because he's so square, and I keep bleating on about it. Unless he learns to move his head, if you start fighting the top 5 heavyweights, I can't see Joe Joyce beating Anthony Joshua. I can't see Joe Joyce beating Deontay Wilder. I can't see Joe Joyce beating anywhere near Tyson Fury. He isn't going to stand a chance against Alexander Usyk. He just isn't. I think that Joe Joyce would even struggle against Dillian White, although they're sort of fairly robotic.
He does not load up with that shot. I mean, it's so hard to see. It's so quick and so precise.
Oh, Jesus.
There again. Joe Joyce answers with a jab, but I'm sure Zhang will take a jab over those 2 lefts that he's able to land on the chin of Joyce.
Look at the punch and the swing is coming round. I mean, watch it. Look, no direct straight punch. Look, round. Hooks.
Know, like, hey, I'm gonna be here all night. I've hit you when you hit me with my best shot, and I'm right here in your face.
Look at his ribs, really exposed.
Zhang continues to do damage. His shots are the most telling so far through the first 3 rounds against Zhilei Zhang.
Yeah, I think that Joyce probably won that round.
The left hand of Zhang has done
But
damage.
I just think that
if
you have a look at the state of his face, I mean, I would really disappointed. Look at that. Look at. Let's see if we can get another sort of hold shot. Look, okay, so he took that to the left-hand side of his face, but look how badly swollen that right eye is, and this is at the end of the third.
Watching him on the amateur videos, this is a shot that he's mastered. You know, left-handers, that's the kill shot for them. Right-handers, typically
boom, look at that, straight in the jaw. Okay, so let's get to the start of the next round.
Like his best shot is to close that right eye with left hand.
I agree. So far, Zhang is outlanding Joyce by 5 punches. Now Joyce, his punch output has increased 210 over 3 rounds. That's at a 70 punch per round pace, closer to his 80 punches per round that he's used to putting out.
He was the busier fighter in the last round. I have him down 2 rounds to 1. Joyce
keeps taking those nasty punches. You might start questioning whether he can actually see the bloody thing.
I'm not sure that the most damaging shots from Zhang didn't win him that 3rd round. It was the best round for Joyce, and he is a hometown fighter.
Joyce getting busy now, finding room for his right hand. It's all about foot positioning when you fight in the southpaw. You want to get your foot on the outside of the southpaw. That's going to line up your backhand.
And let's not forget the conditioning issues that Zhang has shown in the past. We talked about how important that early start was going to be for him. It worked.
See, notice Joyce is starting now to move his head a bit. And that really, for me, he should have been doing that since day one. I think he thought he would just motor through this guy, and has not worked out that way. The problem is, obviously, when you're giving up so much weight to somebody, you know, and this guy can obviously take a whack. You know, I think he completely wrong way trained for this fight. I would have liked to have seen him heavier, and I would like to see him take some more body shots. If you're coming in lighter, move your ass. Get out of the way. Oh my God, brutal.
Back-to-back left hands.
There's another straight left right around the glove of Joyce.
And there's a hook there to the left-hand side of the head of Zhang. I would be looking at the body. Look at it like that. He'll drop his hands. You keep hitting him in those ribs, he would drop his hand. But it's like you can see Joe Joyce's punches coming from about 15 miles away.
Joe Joyce could be worrisome as the fight progresses because those shots
oh dear, nasty again.
Up a right hook from Zhilei Zhang.
Anytime Zhang gets his foot on the outside, he's throwing that left hand down the pipe, and he's throwing the right hook to follow now. He's cut off Joe Joyce on that side, not allowing him to get there.
You realize this is a 280-pound or so heavyweight.
That was a nice right hand from Joyce there.
These straight shots right to his chin, right to his face.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good thing to boast about if you're Joe Joyce, because Zhilei Zhang has heavy hands and he's doing damage. You can see it on the face of Joe Joyce.
Look how badly that right eye is closing now. I mean, this is round number 4.
That could change with any left hook from Zhilei Zhang, which continues to be his point.
It's just difficult to see how someone like Deontay Wilder just wouldn't have a one-punch knockout here, because Joyce just doesn't move. Look at that, bang, straight on the chin.
Force the issue with the ref or the doctor.
Yeah, no, I think it's safe to say that, you know, the state of Joyce's eye is getting really bad. And let's see how round 5 works out.
On the breakdown that you have, Joyce, he keeps his head right on that center line. He doesn't move it. That was going to be a problem for him in this fight.
Salas also demanded that Joyce pick up the pace. That's his best shot here. Mark,
and he took another big left hand, and again, and a right hook there. Oh!
Being able to not only throw, but connect like it is once again here in round 5.
I mean, if I was in Joyce's corner, I'd be really worried now. I mean, the state of that eye, really bad.
And if you push the pace against a counter puncher, you know, you're able to throw shots, deflect a lot of the shots that are coming your way, the counters.
Especially a counter puncher who's stamina suspect. But that straight left isn't stopping, man.
My goodness, when we take a look at the power punch over the last few fights for Zhilei Zhang, he is on fire tonight comparatively.
Oh,
there's that left
Jesus.
Once again. That right eye of Joe Joyce continues to worsen. There's a
I'll
left
tell you,
hook, and if he's not
it's
seeing the
totally.
left, that is
Yeah.
going to cause even more trouble as you finally take a look at those CompuBox numbers that favor Zhang and his power punches at over 50.
Zhang is also catching a lot of shots too.
Yes, he is catching a lot of shots. He's playing possum right now.
I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know if he's going to get credit from the judges.
Jesus.
Wait till see
You
the
have to
uppercut.
ask yourself: is actually Joe Joyce seeing any of this? And he's swinging wildly. You know, you really got to, you've got to hurt this guy, but he's just not doing any pain to Zhang whatsoever.
From that left hand that Zhilei Zhang said is going to pierce the armor of the Juggernaut, and you see the bloody
Oh
nose.
wow! Did you see that, guys? I just want to reverse it back just a bit. You know, look
How
at
you
the state of the.
will obviously be on the judge's mind.
Just see if we can get a good
He's
shot of Joe
catching those
Joyce's
shots.
face in nearly the end of round 5.
Yep, daring.
Yeah, Zhang right now is playing with house money right now. He's taking his time. He's trying to allow Joyce to wear himself down.
I don't know, Timmy. He cannot play with house money being
That's what
on the
he's doing
road.
right now.
Being on the road. A guy who has a reputation for fading.
Look at the now inflammation and how purple the right side of Joe Joyce's face. I mean, that left hand is totally demolishing the face of Joe Joyce.
Now, Zhang is bleeding from the nose too, and he's been kind of quiet the last minute or so. He can't give away time in the rounds.
There's that jab from Joe
You can
Joyce.
actually see Zhang's really heavily breathing here, so you know his gas tank's running out. But you just can't keep walking into those left hands. Really can't. I'm going to see if we can get a good shot of Joe Joyce's face in this going into the 6th round. Okay, now take a look at the damage around that eye. Okay, this looks to me to probably be a broken eye socket. It's actually swelled up that much, and that's normal. If you go back to the Billy Joe Saunders Canelo fight, the same thing happened. Okay, so I would not be surprised if he has suffered a broken eye socket or a fractured cheekbone in here, which is why the purple and of course the swelling has come up. It's the body's natural defense system to try and protect more damage to that eye. I mean, if in my corner, obviously the fighters are in charge, but I would probably be looking to pull him out of the fight at this particular point. There's no point sort of trying to get any further in this and do any more damage, and I think they do. The doctor was going to have a look at his eye. And here we are. Okay, so he says he can still see out of it. But just look how bad that is.
Anytime,
You know,
Dr. Whiskey.
Before they start kicking off in the 6th round, listen guys, I mean everybody prays for a good knockout, especially in the heavyweight division, okay? But there is a time when the fighter's health comes first. Joe Joyce is in real danger here of suffering a major eye injury. It could be that a splinter of bone could go into the eye, you could get a detached retina. He's suffered severe damage to that eye, and sometimes guys, as a fighters, we need protecting from ourselves, and in this case, I believe the corner shouldn't put him out for that round. I think the eye damage is so severe that it is not worth the risk and the health of the fighter to carry on.
First to the referee, that cannot be good for the fighter who's being checked out. The bruising is intense. The inflammation of the eye, it's closing. And every time Zhang lands one of those hammering left hands, it makes it worse.
But now we're going to see the urgency with which Joyce fights back.
We talked about Zhang has never earned a stoppage past the 5th round. And Mark, you mentioned it earlier, it may not be a knockout, but it could be a stoppage based on that eye.
We're also going to see if Zhang can answer his
Oh,
critics.
I mean, that should be
Call him
it.
into
That
account,
really should be it. It's just, I know Joyce is fighting back, and he's a heart of a
change his
lion.
life here,
He's
he
got
can
the
change
heart
his
of a
career.
champion,
Can't-
but he has been hurt
avoid
bad.
Stop
And
being
it just,
lazy.
you're now risking the health of the fighter.
Stop being lazy and fight.
But
You want to win, win.
midway through the last round, he stopped throwing. And it's his fight to win or to lose right now.
Oh,
Now a right-left combination.
Oh.
Another straight left. And you said Zhang wasn't throwing well.
It doesn't take a man to stand there and get his head beat off. Really doesn't.
Obviously, he heard me.
Yeah,
No, he didn't hear you.
yeah,
This cannot be good for Joyce.
Now look at the state of it. You've got to take the health of the fighter here. It's so bad.
Now completely closes that eye. The doctor is coming up.
That's it. You just see how the doctor was actually touching the eye, right? Now, if Zhang hits him again, he has the chance of actually rupturing that, and all of that's going to become worse. Yeah, it needs to be stopped, and I totally agree.
Still see, he's going to plead to continue, but the fight is over, and Zhilei Zhang has pulled off the minus 1100 upset on Joyce. The juggernaut did everything he'd done before, but he'd never faced a puncher like Zhilei Zhang, and someone who could do that type of damage to his face. And
Okay, so anyway, guys, so obviously we know the referee's jumped in. He's decided with the doctor's advice. Now, I think he was thinking whether he could carry on or not, but absolutely agree with Howard Foster on this one. You've got to take the athlete's health is always paramount. You know, he's got family to go home to. Well, I hope you've liked my commentary. It's the first time I've done it here. I wish Joyce a very speedy recovery. I'd love to see him back in the ring. I think I would probably look at, if I was in his position, you know, just to reevaluate where you are. He had a great win over Daniel Dubois. But, you know, you cannot sit there and go in with someone like Zhang or any of the other top 5 heavyweights if you're not going to be able to move your head. Every single one of them is going to pick you off. I think, you know, a Tyson Fury is going to be very, very similar to an Alexander Usyk, and I just think they're just going to pick him off. That's all there is. You know, a fight with Dillian White is going to be something similar to what you just witnessed right now, but a fight with Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua is going to involve a very seriously bad knockout, I believe. But this is depending on whether Joshua can actually find his fighting spirit, because in the last fight he had against Franklin, yeah, it could be argued. Anyway, guys, if you've reached the end of this, thanks very much for spending time with me today. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you again very, very soon.